Welcome to History Set in Stone.
We are rolling.
Are we? Okay, good. All right. Welcome to History Set in Stone. Happy National Coming Out Day. Picture this, the day I came out. September 4th of 2002. It was actually the night Kelly Clarkson won American Idol, so I blame that bitch for all this. But should send her a bouquet. Anyway, I was at my mother's house watching the finale of American Idol. I'm with her and my stepdad, my brother, and one of my half-sisters, and we're watching Kelly Clarkson win. Mind you, I'm due back at my dad's house that night. Joys of being a product of divorce. So anyway, before I'm watching American Idol, I'm on the phone with my boyfriend, Chris. Now, Chris and I never met in person. We were actually just hooked up by a mutual friend. When you would talk to Chris on the phone, could you imagine, take a balloon, pop a hole in it, and let that air out really slowly. That little lispy sound, that was Chris. That's how Chris sounded when he talked. And I'm by no means shaming him for that. It's actually part of the story. So I told Chris while I was on the phone, hey, I'm gonna be back at my dad's house in the next 45 minutes. Give me a call. That wasn't the case. I was too busy watching Kelly Clarkson champion American Idol with my family. So I didn't get back home till much later. Now Chris called my dad's house twice looking for me. So my dad answers the phone and hears, is Andrew there? I'm sure my dad didn't like hearing that. He says, he'll call you back. Leaves it at that. It's 15 minutes later, maybe 20 minutes later, the kid calls my dad back and is like, hi, I'm just calling again for Andrew. My dad's pissed. He already told this kid once that I would call him back, and now he's calling a second time, and I know my father doesn't like his voice. So my dad's like, per my last email, he will call you back when he gets home. So my brother and I eventually leave my dad's house. Get back to my dad's. Brother goes up to bed. My other sister, she's probably been sleeping for a while. My stepmom, she's not even home, she's out. So it's perfect attack zone for my father. So I walk in, I say, hey Dad, how are you? Not even responding to my greeting. He says, Chris called for you. Okay, cool, thanks Dad. And my father turns from the couch and says, is he queer? So I looked at my dad and I said, he's gay. Yeah. And my dad goes, are you? No, I'm not. I'm 15 years old. I'm not ready for this conversation. I'm just like, at this point I hadn't even thought about telling my mother, and I knew she would take it well. So I said to him, I'm not having this conversation, and I walked away, and the man follows me. Follows me up the stairs to my bedroom. Are you queer? I said, Dad, I don't want to talk about this right now. I want the truth. Are you queer? Now, my father always respects directness and honesty, so that's what he was about to get. So I looked at him and I said, yeah, yes, yeah, I'm gay. Jerks his head back as if he was repulsed, like the man just smelled shit. Looks at me dead in the eye, mind you, I'm 15 years old, and goes, you suck dick? You take it up the ass? I'm like, what the fuck? Who the fuck says that to their teenage son? I'm like, dude, I've done half of that. I'll let you know once I do the latter. Mind your fucking business. Yes, I'm gay. Wow. So he just yelled at me some more, and we argued, and I honestly don't even remember the rest of the conversation. I just know I cried myself to sleep that night. Went to school the next day. Come home from school. He's not home, thank God. My stepmom is there, and she says to me, your father is afraid he's gonna say more things to offend you. He thinks it'd be best if you went and stayed with your mother for a while. I'm being fucking kicked out. So, and I said that to her too, so you're kicking me out. That's not what this is. You always twist everything. Anytime I hit that proverbial nail on the head with the hammer with that woman, she always said I was twisting things. There was a shit ton of gaslighting going on, but that's a whole other story for Stone Stories. So I get dumped off at my mother's house. Mind you, my mom's not expecting me there. I just was there the night before. She comes home from work with my stepfather, and there I am sitting on the couch, and she says all excited, Andrew, what are you doing here? Dad kicked me out. What? Why? Oh, she's all upset. She's all upset. How dare someone do that to her son? At this point, coming out to her, I was so fried from telling my father, no pun intended. And I just said, he kicked me out because I'm gay. Oh, she goes, what? That son of a bitch! Oh, the dramatic Italian comes out. She's not gonna take it. She calls my father on the phone. I remember her from the kitchen. Oh, you didn't see this coming? She's saying to him. Not that I was a flaming kid or anything, but the writing was on the wall, and so were the Spice Girls posters, so everyone knew, oh, this kid is probably gay, and that's all right. It was difficult. I was at my dad's house, I was at my mother's house for 2 weeks, and he would call me, my father, every night would call me with something new just to give me shit for. He'd say, I raided your room. Okay, great, what did you find? I read your diary. How could you say that about your stepmother? Anything I probably said in that diary, I'm sure today I still stand by. Then he'd say to me, I read your yearbooks. How could you bring that filth into the house? A fucking yearbook is filth. You would have thought I brought home crystal meth and a 12-inch dildo. But no, a girl writing in my yearbook, keep in touch, if you weren't gay, I'd marry you, sent my dad straight off the edge. So, I look back at that time, and I am able to laugh about it because it's funny. It's funny to me. It's made me stronger. The part that annoys me the most is I wasn't done coming out then. Every time I meet someone, I have to come out. You meet a straight woman, and you casually mention in conversation, oh, I went out with my boyfriend, and oh, you're gay! And it's, oh, yeah, I'm also a Scorpio and a writer, and my favorite color is black, even though I know black's not a real color, it's an absence of color. Why is me being gay always a focal point? I meet a straight guy, now my anxiety is even higher. If I tell him I'm gay, is he gonna cut me out? Is he gonna say, I don't wanna be friends with you? Or is he going to accept the fact, but always keep me at a distance because he's afraid I'm flirting with him? You're never done coming out. And I hope and I pray that as time has gone on, my generation is very different than the little Gen Zers coming up. I hope they have it easier. I hope parents are more accepting of the fact. And instead of parents looking at the sex or something perverted, you see love. Because love is all that matters. I don't want to be cliche and sit here and say, well, love is love, but that cliche sentence is there for a reason. In my 30 plus years on this earth, if I can tell you anything, it's that love and empathy always matter. Nothing else matters in the world but those two things. And if parents can have a little bit more love and empathy towards their kid when they come out as gay or lesbian or transgender or bisexual, that it's not met with disgust, it's met with open arms and love. And that's my wish for the future. You know, one day.